All right, let us say hello to Platinum Mike Perry, coming off of an undefeated 2022 campaign. He picked up wins over Julian Lane and Michael Venom Page in the BKFC ring, but he's also been in the news quite a bit as of late. Could he be next for Jake Paul in the boxing ring? Let's see if we can get ourselves an update right now. Mike, good to see you, man. How are you?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm doing well. Good year. Let's go.
That's what we like to see and what we like to hear. I appreciate you doing this, Mike. So last week you got a lot of people's attention because you took to Twitter. You said you signed a contract to fight Jake Paul and that he changed his mind. And some people, as you know, in this space, they're like, oh, okay, this is cool. And others are like, he's full of it. But then you proved everybody wrong. You post a screenshot of the contract. Jake then responded and said, it might be Mike Perry's lucky day because Tommy Fury is still ducking me. So what's the latest on this potential fight between you and Jake Paul from where you sit right now?
Well, as far as I know, it's the same as it was that day. Not much has really changed, and we're in the same position. Sorry about that. We're in the same position that we were in a few days ago. I'm just kind of calling people out and staying ready to compete. And man, I tell you, it doesn't matter to me. I love boxing. I'm ready to throw hands. I can take a hell of a punch. I give one back, and I'm getting slick and I'm moving properly. And I've always been a boxer deep down. I've always, I did MMA and I was in the UFC and all that, but all the grappling, all the wrestling, all that stuff. And every time I got in the ring, I just, I wanted to punch people, and I wasn't, now I'm practicing how I'm going to fight. So, it's making a difference in me. And we're looking for a good fight. We're looking for a big fight and a big name. I've created some bounce for myself, and I've created a name for myself in all my years of fighting. And we're looking for a good name, a big name, but ultimately it's a management thing. I'm a business product of my management team, and they are going to make the best decisions for me, for my career, for them, so that we all benefit together. And I'm sure they're behind the scenes just working on that next opportunity. So, my job is to stay ready for it and be prepared to fight anyone. So let's do it.
When were you first approached with this Jake Paul opportunity? Like, how did it all come about? Like, when did you find out that this was on the table for you?
I think it was December of 22. And that's why, the contract, people still in the comments like, oh, I faked it. I faked the contract. What, did I type that up? You think I typed that up? Come on, man. I can't type that up. And it's ridiculous. People would, see it with their own eyes and still be in disbelief. And it's not like it matters. It's Jake's got 5 pro boxing fights, and if you can call them all pro fights, and he's done great. He's gotten a lot better as he's been competing and training all the time. So, and I sparred him once, and I think it would be a great boxing match. And I can't lie. I'm a bare knuckle boxer, and I like to punch without anything, but with the gloves on, I feel like I hit harder. And I think it would be interesting to see what I could do in a boxing ring.
Yeah, and you get a big fat bag of money, which doesn't hurt either, right?
It doesn't hurt. It's not. I earned that shit though, man. I've been doing this for so long, so many years. People call me out and say I'm this or that or ain't this, and it don't matter. I've proven myself, which is why I'm getting these opportunities and why people have backed me, and I have followers, and I'm still looking for more. I'm growing up. I'm getting smarter. I'm trying to be a better person and athlete. And, but there's still jokes, it's like I posted something funny today with like a funny sound. It was like, do you have a problem with shutting the fuck up and minding your fucking business? Well, come on down and you get a free ass whooping. It's just a joke, man. But that's what I do for a living too. I'm a pro fighter and I fight literally every day.
So this gets brought to you. You get this contract that you've since posted on social media, and I'm sure you signed that immediately and sent it back. And you're probably thinking to yourself, like, all right, I got an actual contract. I signed it. I'm going to be fighting this guy. And now here we are. Like, you had to have been thinking, all right, we're a go here, right? Did you get to that point, or have you just been in this game long enough to know that until I'm actually in the ring, until I'm actually in the location of where this fight's going to happen, I don't believe until I'm actually there?
Somewhat like that. I believe that, when I sign something, or like even when I was in the UFC or even bare knuckle, I'll sign for a fight, for an event with a certain opponent, and I expect to be there that day fighting, no matter if the fight changes, if the opponent changes. I expect to be there, and if I sign, I always show up. But I understand that it's a business. Jake is quite the businessman. He signs with the Cleveland Browns NFL team, and like they make this like announcement of it, and they do these reels or whatever, and it's he's a content creator, and then he signs with the PFL, and he's a promoter. He's promoting things, and he threw a little clout my way. So, he said my name. So if he wants to do it, he knows I'm up for it. And if we can make it all make sense, I just get in the ring and do what I do.
I don't know what you can and can't say, but was there a date attached to this?
Yeah, I believe it was mid-February. And, I don't know what I can and can't say either. I kind of want it to happen. So there was supposed to be a really cool location, and that intrigued me. I was interested in the location, and man, there's lots of guys though. There's lots of guys. I called out a group of guys on Twitter yesterday. It could be anyone's, and those were names. And then there's guys who don't have names that are trying to fight me. But that's where I say, it's a business thing. My team, my management, I don't know if they're looking at these guys and they're saying, oh, well, you're not going to get the shot because you barely got 10,000 followers. I don't know if that matters. I mean, I could fight a can or I could fight a star. And either way, Platinum Perry's going to show up and show out.
So we'll move on because you did mention all the call outs and I want to get to those, but it's the second week of 2023. Do you think this fight happens with Jake? Do you think it happens?
I do. I think it happens. If it is mid-February, I'm ready. I'll be ready. I'm ready this weekend. I got sparring tomorrow night. I'm going to go get some road work today and lift some weights. Got to eat something healthy and just keep feeding myself and stay hungry. That's me. That's what I do. I live what I post today, Arnold Schwarzenegger on my story talking about, it's a lifestyle and he will train till he dies. So that's what I'm going to do.
Well, like you said, whether it happens or not, you've set yourself up in a good spot. There are a lot of options as you put it on social media. And even your promoter right now, Dave Feldman, is trying to make some big moves and sign some big names. He's said very publicly multiple times, he's looking to sign Nate Diaz, looking to sign Eddie Alvarez to BKFC. And those would certainly be two big names that you could potentially fight. And you've had 2 big fights for BKFC already. It seems like you have a really good thing with them. How would you describe your run with BKFC so far since you signed with them?
Man, they have given me a great opportunity to be reborn and really, refresh my career through all the mistakes that I've made, and they're giving me a chance to redeem myself, and I'm just, it's all about being ready mentally, and like the thing with bare knuckle is it kind of puts this thing in the back of your head when you're prepping for a bare knuckle fight, and when you're doing like strengthening your knuckles, or practicing your punching bare knuckle, and it like kind of puts this thing in the back of your head where you're like, this is serious, this is really dangerous, and I really need to be on top of my game, and I have to believe in myself, and I like that fire that it gives me to really understand, and then my opponent has to know how dangerous it's going to be against me, that I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna put these knuckles on you. So whether it's gloves or no gloves, it's punching and trying not to get punched. So, I mean, like I said, man, it's the same old song. I'm just stay ready, stay ready, stay ready, keep practicing, keep working out. I'm about to work out when we get off of this interview. So
A lot of people, when Dave says things like this, everyone's like, no, there's no way he's going to go to BKFC, or this person's going to go to BKFC. And what we've seen historically is more oftentimes than not, he somehow finds a way to get it done. And Nate seems to be just a really interesting name right now that he's officially a free agent. And you've been around Dave and you've had a relationship with Dave for a little while now. Do you think he can get this done? Like, do you think if anybody can get a deal done like this, whether people believe it or not, Dave Feldman can get Nate Diaz over to BKFC?
Man, the more people who doubt something like that, I definitely see Feldman pulling it off and doing what he needs to do. The man's wealthy, he's intelligent, he's a businessman, and if he wants something, he goes for it, and he doesn't offer BS. He makes legitimate offers. I mean, you got to respect the guy. He's really taken this sport and grew it to the fastest growing sport in the world, and it's still climbing. And I'm happy to be a part of it. And, I'm excited to see where it goes. I mean, Nate Diaz is, he's quite the promoter as well. He stays in the headlines without, having to always keep fighting. So I don't know what he's going to do. It's his decision. Ultimately, he doesn't necessarily need money. That's the thing is, I mean, I can't lie. Like, he's set up in other ways where he's doing all right. And me, I fight for my check. That's what I like to do. And I like to fight. And I'm still deep in it. I'm still young enough and kind of in my prime at 31 years old, where I've really found out a lot about the sport and stuff. So there's other names too. I thought they said something about, Cowboy Cerrone would totally be interested. And I think that's a big one too. So I can sit here and call out a bunch of different names to fight me, and people will doubt me until I step in the ring and I prove myself and I get a victory.
Yeah, you listed Cerrone as a name, Kevin Lee as a name. You mentioned Connor, Darren Till. I mean, whole bunch of people. I mean, it's got to be pretty good to be in this position right now where you could just throw these names out and you can make a compelling case for you to fight all of them. It wasn't really like that like 3 years ago.
It's because David Feldman can make a compelling case, because I know who my promoter is. My boss he's about that life. And, he's offering these numbers because he's going to pay these guys if they sign and fight. So, you know, we all work together. We all get paid. And motherfuckers gonna bleed. Let's hope nobody dies.
There was one name that kind of surprised me. Roy Jones Jr. I saw him kind of on the list as well. That one stunned me a little bit. Why is Roy on that list?
All-time great. His last fight was Mike Tyson. I mean, I love the bare knuckle boxing ring, but I've always been a fan of the original combat sport. I mean, I guess wrestling and all that stuff is in, like, they got statues of it, of like old Greece and stuff like that. But what I know from the 1900s, the early days, were these legends in the sport of boxing. These guys get in the ring, they do 115 rounds, or, they just boxing all day. From morning to night, they be in the ring fighting, and guys get destroyed. So, and it's a man thing to stand there toe to toe, mano y mano, and it's punch and try not to get punched back, and just beat the guy down until there's a victor. So, and you're not like taking it to the ground to slow the fight down, or you just got to move and punch. And I think, I don't know, it's just, I love it so much, man. It's so much more real for me. It's always been who I am. I've always been a boxer in the MMA world, really.
So Roy would just be kind of like almost like a dream fight for you in some respects.
Definitely. I respect Roy a lot. I grew up watching videos of Mike Tyson and Roy Jones and trying to teach myself how to move and fight like them. And, Roy's a great entertainer. He's released some dope songs. And I think stepping in the ring with him and fighting him, man, that would be legendary. And it would mean a lot to me to be able to get myself in the ring with a legend like that and compete against him.
So I did want to ask you about this, and you can tell me to kick rocks if you want, but it is the big story in the combat world right now. And you have had to answer questions about allegations in the past. You've had to answer tough questions about allegations in the past. Dana White is the story of combat sports right now. He was your former employer when you were with the UFC, shown in a video getting in an altercation with his wife. She slaps him. He immediately slaps her back. And since then, Dana addressed it, said there's no excuses. And that's pretty much been it. There's been nothing else from the UFC, nothing else from Endeavor, nothing really from anybody. So if I may ask, what was your reaction to the video and really the way it's sort of been handled the last week or so?
Well, I saw a video of Dana White's explanation. What a guy, man. I mean, he definitely had no excuses. He said, everyone who's, talking about me, they're probably right. I didn't, I made a mistake or whatever. How long has that guy been in the public eye for so many years before something like this happened? Maybe he grabbed her wrist. She struck him. He struck back. Alcohol involved, New Year's, tough times. Man, that's, people go through that. That happens to people. I'm definitely not innocent in my life, but we have to move forward. We have to, you do a million good things and you do one bad thing and everyone's just on your case about it. They get the chance, with someone as powerful as that, they get the chance to, talk trash or put them out there as this evil, bad person. It's not, it could have been worse. It could have been better. What can you do? You go forward. Dana's probably going to donate some charity this week. I mean, I can't sit here and talk bad about the guy. So That's my comment.
Fair enough. I appreciate you even answering the question, but to end on something more positive, because I know you got to work out, you got things to do, Mike. When we get to this point next year, it's 2024, January 10th as we're speaking right now. When we look back on Mike Perry's 2023, what are we going to be talking about?
Hopefully an amazing fight. Hopefully I knock someone out clean this year. It's been a minute. I gotta finish somebody. I gotta knock them out. I've been downing them. I've been knocking them down. Now I gotta finish them, and I'm working on it. 2023 just started, and we're talking about 2024. I gotta get a fight. 2024, I want to be fighting in January. I want to start the year off. So we didn't do that this year, but I'm gonna knock someone out this year, and they'll be they'll be calling me the best fighter on the planet next year.
Well, Mike, I appreciate the time. Enjoy your workout, and all the best to you in getting one or more of these big fights in 2023. The options are on the table, and seems like you're in just a tremendous place right now. You can see it in your face. You're happy, you're thriving, and it's good to see, my man. So thank you very much for the time as always.
Thank you, brother. Shout out to the show. Shout out David Feldman. Shout out BKFC and Dave Cranston. All right, guys. Have a good one.